Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, and we are here to discuss what happened today at Villa Park in what was a disappointing day at the office for Aston Villa Football Club. So before I do get into it, I just want to remind you all that we do have an ongoing giveaway for either match tickets or a shirt of your choice. All that you need to do to qualify is smash that subscribe button. We give away that every 500 subs, and we are getting close to the next giveaway, so don't miss out on that. So before I do get into it, I just want to get something off my chest, really. This I've seen a lot of reactionary posts online from Villa fans, non-Villa fans, just basically saying the Villa are not going to get top five, we're not going to get Champions League football, we're going to fall off a cliff, and it's absolutely done my nut into tonight. Honestly, my head's been on Mars reading and listening to some of the stuff because this is not an Aston Villa team, or since Unai Emery has come in, that just fall off. We don't do that. We've been consistently good for a concerted period of time now. And what's really annoying and really frustrating for me to listen to this is we beat Newcastle literally last week, and we beat Fenerbahce as well. We don't win at St James's Park. We never do. 21 years, let me just get that back out there, was the last time we won there. But we went there and won. We had 27 shots, I think it was, on goal today. 27 shots. The game could have been totally different. It just wasn't our day at the office. I feel like I'm going straight into the podcast here, but I just had to get off my chest because it just really annoys me how we are getting people are saying we're going to fall off a cliff. Football fans are so reactionary, but that is just taking the absolute piss. Like, come on, let's be realistic, right? Cory, what was your briefly? What was your? How did you feel about the game? Give me your in 60 seconds or so. Give me exactly how you felt about the game.
Yeah, of course. Listen, it's obviously a disappointing result. There's no denying that. I think I was one of those people who, after the game, was a bit reactionary to it. I've had a bit of time to sort of have a think. Obviously, I wasn't as bad as some people saying that's it, our season's done, that sort of thing. I think obviously you messaged me when Kevin Sharder got sent off, basically saying that's he's won us the game, sort of thing. And it sounds bad, but when he got sent off, I'm not gonna lie, I was worried we were gonna lose. I don't know. I had a feeling, and I think as the game progressed, it just felt like one of those days, as you say, one of those days at the office where the ball wasn't going in. The one time it did go in, it didn't count, and yeah, it just seemed like one of those days today where just nothing could seem to go right for us.
Yeah, well, realistically, you should have won us the game. And to be honest with you, in terms of possession, and well, I think what lost us the game as such was conceding the goal when we did. If we didn't concede the goal, because they were already down to 10 men at that point, if we didn't concede the goal, we go and win that game. I'm pretty confident of it. But hey ho, that's kind of how the cookie crumbles, and ultimately that's how football is. You're not going to win every single game, and this is one thing I'm finding very frustrating. Yes, we lost to Everton last week. Yes, we lost I can get your words out, to Brentford today. But ultimately, we're not going to win every single game at the end of the season. We need to win 50% of our games, seven out of the 14 games left to get Champions League football. Give us there or thereabouts. People are, we're not gonna do it, we're not gonna do it. We will win a good few games over the next few weeks. We will. I'm pretty confident of that. Onana obviously wasn't fit enough to start today. I would like to assume with him being on the bench, it's not a bad injury. He's just muscle tiredness. It's being called. He will start against Brentford. I mean Bournemouth. Sorry, next weekend. He will. Then you'll have Douglas Luiz next to an Onana, and then Ollie Watkins will potentially be back next week. We'll look a lot stronger. Yes, Tammy Abraham did okay, I think, today. Probably should have had a few goals. If we're going to be, we'll probably get into that in a minute. But we'll look stronger. And what my point is, Yuri Tielemans isn't dead. John McGinn isn't dead. You know, they will return. They're going to come back into the side. They'll be out for another 7 weeks. I think it is. Yuri Tielemans will be out for John McGinn, I think, 5 weeks from this point now. So they're going to come back. It's just going to be a bit of a slog until they get back, but they will be back in the side. It's just about getting enough results. And the thing is, yes, we have lost to Everton. Yes, we have lost to Bournemouth. I mean, I keep saying bloody Bournemouth. We have lost to Brentford, but we will pick up results from now to the end of the season that you didn't think that we would. Nobody give us a chance against Newcastle. Nobody give us a chance at Chelsea away. No one give us a chance against Arsenal at home, or no one give us a chance against Man City at home. I don't get, especially opposition fans. Fair enough if they want to write us off, but Villa fans, you should know better by now. This is Unai Emery and Unai Emery's team. Yes, we are up against it. Yes, we are up in shit creek at the moment with injuries, and that is the most worrying bit. But we will get through. Trust Unai Emery and trust the process.
You bang on, Ben. Obviously, like you say, we've we've seen dips in the past. We obviously had a tough start to the season, and we've got to where we are. Listen, a lot of today, I think, comes from the way we lost the game. I think, don't get me wrong, I don't think the players didn't put the effort in. I think there's no denying that they put the effort in. I think there's things that maybe could have been done better in terms of some of the changes that were made, and also just the players on the pitch. I think the ball probably should have been moved a lot quicker than it was at times, and I think we almost set ourselves up to fail with letting Brentford get back at times and that sort of thing. But ultimately, as you say, there's another 14 games left of the season. We've got games that we can win. We've got games that we should win. And we've got games that we aren't fancied to win, but we can do that. Another example is obviously Fenerbahce away. I think a lot of Villa fans going into that weekend of Fenerbahce and Newcastle, like you say about Newcastle already, we were expecting to lose with the squad we have. Like, obviously, it's disappointing that. And don't get me wrong, Brentford are seventh, by the way. Let's
Good
not talk
side.
about let's not talk about Brentford like they're the team that we expected them to be. They are a very good side, and I do want to say fair play to them. They clearly had a tactic from the outset, and to be honest with you, I think before their goal, they probably deserved a goal. Before the red card, they were the better team. I think that's fair to say. They caused us a lot of problems in that first half, specifically. I know Igor Thiago didn't really touch the ball that much, but his running off the ball caused us a few problems, and there was a couple of times where Maatsen got caught out, like he did for the goal today. But ultimately, Brentford aren't a bad side. It's not like we're playing, I don't know, no offence to Wolves, but it's not like it was Wolves that went down to 10 men and who struggled for points this season. Brentford have won games that people haven't expected them to win, and they've won them comfortably.
Look, I think we'll talk about one of the positive points in a moment, but I kind of want to link this into that. We started with a midfield pivot of Douglas Luiz and Lamar Bogard. I'm pretty positive they wouldn't have played together in first team football at Aston Villa, because obviously Bogard was probably still in the academy back then. So it's we've literally started a whole new midfield for a game in the Premier League. Like, if you do that at any level, you're going to see that. But in the Premier League, especially coming up against, and that's another thing. You're coming up against a midfield with Jordan Henderson in it. Who, yes, Jordan Henderson's old, but he's been very good for Brentford. Let's not discredit that. And he's one of the most experienced players in the Premier League. Douglas Luiz, however, let's just touch on him. I thought he was absolutely magnificent today, and he just literally slipped back in. Looked Luiz that we had when he was with us, in my opinion. I thought he was brilliant. What was your thoughts on Dougie's performance?
100% agree. I don't know what Nottingham Forest were doing with him, because, as you say, he came back in and he was spraying balls left, right and centre. He was demanding the ball, little flicks and tricks, stuff like that. He was calm on the ball, composed. Obviously, when he ended up having to do the role on his own in the second half, I thought he did brilliantly in that role on his own. Not negatively, I do want to touch on Lamar Bogard as well. I think he was quite poor again today. He was poor in midweek against Salzburg. The only thing I will say in his defence is obviously he is still young and learning, but also the fact that he's being played in all these positions, he's not really getting a chance to be set in a certain position, which I don't think helps. Obviously, he probably wasn't expecting to play today, if we're being honest. I think Onana probably would have been in the starting 11 up until the last minute, and it was that sort of final call of, are we going to play him or not, sort of thing. And then it was a game where they thought they could rest him. But like I say, Douglas Luiz, he slotted back in again. I said it on the previous podcast when we spoke about transfers. This is why we went and signed Douglas Luiz, and we didn't go out and sign Yves Bissouma or Onyedika from Club Brugge, because Luiz has just been able to slot straight back in.
I don't disagree with you. I thought he had a bit of a rough day. But again, is he really the person that you want starting a Premier League game? Probably not. He's very young, very raw still. He definitely can help us and definitely can provide an option off the bench. He can even fill in when needed. But again, if you are coming up against a team, let's be realistic again. But Brentford are a very good team, and they were sat fifth in the Premier League literally 2 weeks ago. But then they dropped two stinking results, and they've bounced back against us. Fair play to Brentford. I'm not going. I need give them the flowers. They played really well, and you know what? I'd probably go as far as saying they deserve to beat us. Look, it was our job that they got the goal. They sat in, made it difficult for us, and we couldn't break them down. And if we can't break them down, it doesn't matter how many shots we have. If we don't score, you got to give the defensive team credit, and I thought they did their job very, very well. And I think you are right. I don't think we moved the ball very well at times. I think we were a bit too slow and a bit predictable. Like we seemed to go side to side, try and find one of the wingers. We had chances. We did. Leon Bailey. I thought he should have scored his chance when he cut in on his left foot. He's absolutely spooned it and gone for pure power. I thought he's a bit of finesse, man. Just find the corner. At least force a save from the goalkeeper. We had the chances in the first half. Tammy Abraham for me should be scoring. I know you say. I know we've obviously had the conversations offline. He did well to get to the first one, and then you obviously had the one that was blocked. You'd expect at least one of them to go in, though. It's just can see it maybe as unlucky. And we've had other chances. Matson's had that one. Constant spoon that chance over in the first half. You're like, look, we had chances. We had lots and lots of chances. We just didn't take them. And ultimately, if we take them, it's a completely different game. Football is a game of small margins. And I said to this guy sat next to me in the stands, I said, if we score here before the 80th minute, I think we go on and win it, because I think that, with the momentum's with us 10 men, I'd be pretty confident that we'd find a second. But it just didn't come. And sadly, that's how the cookie crumbles, and it weren't our day. And which is really annoying me about opposition fan bases, our own fan bases, people saying that we're falling apart and this is Aston Villa done now and we're not going to qualify for the Champions League, etc., etc. Give me a fucking break. Like, you know what I mean? Give me a break. Like, it's one game. Yeah. Fucking hell, people still saying we're in a title race before Arsenal played bloody Leeds. Like, and also, that's another point I want to make. With us playing the last kickoff, the late kickoff. Look, we played Everton on a Sunday at 4:30. We played on a Sunday today. I know it was 2:00. He won the last one, but the players kind of knew what they needed to do. They knew they needed to win, and they did, and they didn't. But whereas when we played Newcastle, we went and beat them.
Yeah, I think it's a weird one. Like, for me,
because that was Sunday. That was a Sunday as well, wasn't it? The Newcastle game. So it's like
2:00. I think.
But had Arsenal played at that point though?
No, Arsenal played after. They played after us.
So then they knew what they needed to do. So they bottled it.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just my perception of it. I might be talking absolutely out my arsehole here, but that's. I
think for me, there's just not enough risk takers in the team. Like, I look at that game today, and we had people taking sort of like pop shots in the last 5 minutes during stoppage time. Like, why were we not doing that from the 60th minute? When we couldn't get the ball into the box, that's when you can take them shots from long range that have worked for us so well. Not in the last 5 minutes when we need the ball to be in the box. And I mean, one person I felt really bad for, and I've expressed this to you offline, Ben, is Jadon Sancho. I thought he was terrific today. And the amount of times he beat his man and was putting the ball into the box and trying to create things, and no one in the box was giving him anything. The movement in the box was so poor at times, and you're just thinking, he's done it 3 or 4 times, beating his man and get the ball. Just someone throw it. Even if you end up going through the keeper and it gets given as a foul, it's a bit of confidence to give you something going. And I'm really, to be honest with you, I was really annoyed and surprised at Unai Emery for taking him off. I thought, again, I'm not going to be hounding players out. We've both said I thought Buendia was poor. For me, that would have been the natural selection. Get Harvey Elliott on for Buendia, get him playing through the middle with Morgan Rogers out next to him, and have Sancho and Bailey on the right, and just all-out attack on him doing that. I didn't see the point in keeping someone like Buendia on who didn't have an impact on the game.
Yeah, he shit.
He had that shot at the end where he's tried to hit it from 30 yards or whatever, and he's completely spooned it. I just think there wasn't enough risk takers today when we needed it, and ultimately was there any leaders on the pitch? Another question we've had before is, when Mings is on, that's something that it offers us something different. I think we probably could have done with getting Mings on at some point. I don't think Pau Torres' passing really would have made too much of a difference in the second half, if we're being honest. He put in a couple of decent crosses, but again, we were hoping that, don't get me wrong, Tammy Abraham's a big lad. There's no denying that. But they had 6'3" Christopher Ayer, 6'5" Nathan Collins, and 6 foot whatever, I can't remember who the other centre back was, but a big lad. It's like you're needing that ball on a sixpence to be perfect for Tammy Abraham. So he's big, because Tammy Abraham's a big lad. But if you've got three lads that are the same height as you all going for that ball,
you're going to get it.
It needs to be perfect for him. And again, but then there's so many times when the ball went in, it went over Tammy Abraham's head, and you're thinking,
shit.
Leon Bailey attack it, Sancho attack it, somebody attack it, and they just didn't attack it.
Well, that was one thing I was going to say, but I haven't watched the game back yet. I'm potentially going to watch it tomorrow morning, to be honest with you, just to like kind of dissect it a little bit and understand what went wrong, if there's anything we could have done better. But just seeing from the sidelines, when we did cross the ball, there weren't many midfield runners, because you've got, like, obviously you got Rodgers, you got when Harvey Elliott was on, when Deere was on, none of them you wouldn't call them box crashing midfielders that are going to get in the box and try and score a goal. You know what I mean? It just felt like Tammy Abraham was pretty much in there on his own, and maybe the opposite fullback or opposite winger was coming in. Yeah, again, I could be talking at my arse. I haven't watched the game back, but that's just how I felt from inside the stands. Like I say, it just wasn't our day, man. Like I just think we just need to take a step back, breathe, and just look. We're still, what is it, 7 points clear? You know, it's not the end of the world. We've got Bournemouth this weekend, so just going to pull up the fixtures for next weekend.
We're 5 points clear of United at the moment.
Yeah, but like let's talk. We're 7 points clear of Liverpool in sixth. Yeah, that's probably the barometer, because that's dropping out of fifth. That's losing Champions League. So next weekend, Man United have got Spurs at home. Man United could drop points to Spurs at home. Spurs always beat United as well. They always beat them. Last year they beat them every single time they played them. Even how shit Spurs are, they could go to United and get a result. Obviously, we could get a result against Bournemouth. Chelsea are away at Wolves. I would expect Chelsea to beat Wolves. Then you've got Liverpool are at home against Man City. Man City have to win that. Have to. They can't not win it. So, will Man City win? Not sure, but I think that I would put money on them beating Liverpool.
I think, judging by those fixtures, I think it's fair to say that, as far as game weeks go, that could be one of the most important game weeks in that weekend, because there's a lot of teams there that you've listed who could all drop points. We could drop points to Bournemouth. Chelsea could drop points to Wolves, which is unlikely. I know Liverpool more than likely won't beat City, but they could do. And Man United obviously have the chance to drop points. So if we're the ones that can come out of that saying we've got 3 points against Bournemouth, it's huge.
Massive.
We're the first ones to play as well, aren't we? 3 o'clock on Saturday.
Yeah, but even in the week, we've got Brighton at home. We should beat Brighton at home. Chelsea got Leeds at Stamford Bridge. Should beat them, but I wouldn't put it past Leeds going there and scum, like shithousing them. But then Man United have got bloody where is it again? West Ham away. West Ham are desperate for points, like and they're playing pretty well. I wouldn't write West Ham off getting a result. And then Liverpool have got Sunderland away. Sunderland, the only unbeaten team in the Premier League. So, but the point I'm trying to make is we could literally go through every fixture round. Match week 27, we've got Leeds at home, and then you've got Liverpool are away at Forest. Forest are going to be scrapping for points. Bloody Man United have got Everton away at Hill Dicko. That's not going to be an easy game. My point is, this is going to be like this every single week until the end of the season. Imagine this is your feelings. Don't get up here when we win too much. Don't get all the way down here when we lose too much. We need, stay a bit on the line and try and stay a bit level-headed, because we're going to lose games. We're going to win games. Trust Unai Emery. Trust the process. Look, if we went on 3 or 4 game losing streak, then yeah, fair enough. Then you can start getting a bit emotional. I appreciate that then. But the fact that people are getting a bit like this after we've just beat Newcastle away, so really? Like, come on, just calm down.
Yeah, I think that is one of the key things. Is obviously the players always go on about us as fans and how much we impact the games and stuff. And I said before the game on the podcast we did before Brentford, I said the atmosphere at Villa Park today needed to be electric. It needed to be. I think obviously I wasn't there myself. Ben, you'll be able to obviously give a better example of what it was. The one thing that I hated seeing,
People
and listen,
leaving.
I understand. Yeah, I
Yeah, it's fucking
understand there's
shit, mate.
traffic. I get things like
I
that,
don't
but when you're
care.
1-0 down against 10 men in the 85th minute and people are leaving in the 85th minute, obviously people didn't know in the stadium there was going to be 10 minutes left. I had the luxury of knowing that because I watched it
Took me an
on my phone.
hour and 40 minutes to get home today, mate. I live,
Yeah,
over 50 miles away from Villa Park, but I don't care. I stay. Look,
it's a 2 o'clock kickoff as well. It's not.
you stay there to support the lads. Look, imagine how the team feel like seeing the stands empty. Actually, you know what? While we'll make a bigger point of this. How fucking shit is it? I don't care if you go. Look, unless you've got a flight to get from fucking Birmingham Airport, then you've got half an excuse. If you haven't, then personally, I don't care if you spent your money and it's your money, your ticket, etc. I think you're taking the piss personally. Like, imagine those players. They're playing. They're trying to get an equaliser. Trying to get us back in the game, and then they see half of Villa Park empty, that would straight away surely just sit in the players' head like, oh, they have no belief that we're going to get back in the game.
Yeah,
You should be there
I
to the
mean,
end of the fucking game, cheering them on, cheering them over the line. Like Villa Park should be a fortress. We should be us and the players against anyone that steps in there from the first minute until the end of the fucking game. No, I'm sorry, I've got a bit of a tirade here, but you've just riled me up because I haven't actually
yeah,
spoke about it.
it's spot on. It's that thing of obviously a lot of Villa fans had to go at Ollie Watkins the last time we won at Villa Park, and he said that the fans needed to be up for it a bit, just to give him that bit of something. And ever since then, Everton at home, fans were leaving in the 88th minute when we're 1-0 down, when we're trying to get an equaliser. Okay, I'll admit that was a later game, fair enough, it's a bit. Today, again, I understand people leave for different reasons. Whatever your reasons are, fair enough. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say you shouldn't do that. But 85th minute against 10 men, Brentford, a team we were absolutely battering on the day in terms of you just needed to suck that ball into the goal as fans. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I mean, obviously,
You do your
we had
part though, don't you?
yeah, we had a conversation offline about the boos as well at the end, and obviously, I think we had conflicting thoughts. The more I've thought about it now, that leans into it. It is that thing of
Yeah, I don't know if they were. Again, bit of hindsight. I don't know if they were booing because of the result or whether it was potentially booing because of the goal that was disallowed, which it could have
potentially. I
been.
mean, that's something we've not actually talked
Yeah,
about. Is
yeah. I thought that it could have been that,
yeah,
but it's while we're here, we'll touch on the goal. Personally, I'll be honest. I think I would be very, 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 very pissed off if that goal wasn't disallowed for us. So
well,
the ball looked
I was
out
going
to
to
me.
message you. I messaged you at the time. Obviously, I had the luxury of seeing it. I said straight away that it was out. Even whilst they were checking, obviously in the stadium, and I saw that it went out. And I was going to message you saying if it got given, as much as I would have been happy it got given, it would have been a bad decision. Like, listen, I've heard a lot of people say the bit where we can feel a bit aggrieved is the fact that VAR themselves have said there was no conclusive evidence to say the ball was out of play. They've come out and said that themselves. There's no conclusive evidence to say it was out of play, but it looks like it's gone out of play. That's the biggest issue. People moaning about, oh, but it was 100 yards away, or it like we progressed up the pitch. We progressed up the pitch in 2 passes. Bailey passed it to Konza. Sorry, 3 passes. Konza played it to Douglas Luiz. Douglas Luiz passed it to
Plays
Sancho.
Sancho had a shot.
Tammy scores. It
But
was like
the,
that.
the
It
only the
wasn't
only
like it was
thing
5 minutes before.
the only thing that I can kind of get on board is he's just around the inconsistency in decisions. Like obviously you had the one that was given, was it for Arsenal at St James's Park?
All the way around.
Was it Newcastle?
Newcastle got the goal against Arsenal.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Potato. You know that it was in that game, and if it's given as a goal in that game, then surely it should be given as a goal in this game because it was the evidence wasn't conclusive enough. The goal was given originally, so you should stick with the original decision. But personally, like I say, hands up. I'm not making excuses because ultimately we should score enough to more than two. We should score 2 goals against a team with 10 men for 60 minutes or whatever it was. We should, but That's my view on it. I don't want to talk about it much more, to be honest with you, because it's pissed me off, and I wonder how many Villa fans are actually here at this point. And tell you what, if you have actually watched the 25 minutes of the podcast, let us know, and let us know your thoughts in the comment section. I'd like to know how many people have actually watched the whole thing, because obviously after a really shit result, like I'm a bit interested to see how many people actually sit here and watch our stuff. But we do appreciate your support if you are here.
Yeah, yeah, you're spot on there. We obviously do appreciate that, and we're not exactly Arsenal fan TV going to put on fake reactions and Lee going to start and shout at the camera for no reason, sort of thing. But listen, it's one of them, isn't it? Like you say, it's a VAR decision that could have gone for us, could have gone against us. It went against us, but ultimately, 60 minutes against 10 men. You should still be able to see out that the result today wasn't down to a dodgy VAR decision. The result
It was
today was
good
down
enough.
to the players not being good enough. And don't like I say, they put the effort in. And to be fair, I think Kelleher made a couple of good saves, and the way they managed the game was brilliant at Brentford. I do think.
No, fair play to
You could
Brentford,
argue
mate.
that Kelleher should have had a yellow card, which then puts him under a bit of pressure. But so
Look,
be it.
I'm going to wrap it up there, mate, because I think we've had a good chat about it, and I think we've covered pretty much everything. And I just think we should just summarise. Look, it wasn't Villa's day. It isn't all doom and gloom. It isn't the end of the world. There is plenty of football left of this season. We've got 14 games left to the end of the season, 14 cup finals in the league to get Champions League football. Look, we've still obviously got the Europa League and obviously the FA Cup as well. But get behind the boys. They need us more than anything right now. Final one from me and Cory. Up the Villa.
Up the Villa.